If you've been Bible journaling and even perhaps following me for a while, you would already have seen some of these products or all of them, but I'm just going over them to ensure that you know exactly what we're talking about here. And in further lessons, I will actually talk to you about the comparison between different products. For example, I'm going to compare the clear gessos and various clear mediums that you could use or not use, and why you would choose things. But this is just what I have found to be the way for anyone to have the chance of having 100% success every single time they page prep and not have to worry about all of the concerns that may or may not go wrong. Generally speaking, the whole point of a page prep, this is basically a primer. So nobody bothers to paint a wall without putting the primer on first, because all of the wall would just drink the paint in. And by putting a primer on there, you're allowing everything to sit on top. It's the same way when you go to prime or prep your Bible page, everything will sit on top rather than drinking into the paper. And for this purpose, I think that the Dina Wakley Media Clear Gesso, although there are certain ones that are great for different reasons, and I will talk to you about them in a further lesson, this one will give you success regardless of what product you use. You will always find that the product will work on top of it. I've yet to find anything that doesn't like this gesso. So the Dina Wakley Media Clear Gesso, it comes in this size. It also comes in a smaller size here, which you can purchase if you want a smaller one. That's 4 ounces and this is 2 ounces. And that is the exact same product in 2 different sizes. So that is what you need when you buy these blending tools. You could use a foam brush. I personally would recommend that you don't. And you may have seen that I used this type of cheap foam brush when I was just starting out, and it was because I was trying to figure out what I was doing. And this is a cheap option and you can use it, but I would recommend that you use these. These last for a long time, and the little things that come with them, you just keep washing them and they come clean every single time and they will work really well for you. I have one that I have had for, I think I've been using it for about 1.5 years and it's still absolutely fine. It's a little yellow, but it works great. So you really don't need to have anything extra, but what this does is it works really well getting into your Bible page right in the cracks, and it kind of sits up against here when you're page prepping, and it works really, really well for getting in that space. And this just has a tendency to kind of brush into the next page, so I wouldn't really recommend these. I would definitely say that's the best solution. Also, when I was first starting out, talked about using something to put behind your paper and something to put in front of your paper. And I'll pull this open so you can see what I mean, is that I currently use these right here. Basically, what I would do is I put one down and then I put one behind whatever I am doing the page prep on. So now I have this perfect surface where I can, do the page prep and all of that, and I'm protecting my surface. Well, when I was doing this early on, I used to use just a piece of printer paper, and I found that actually as I was going, if I wasn't really extremely careful, I could actually make this page start to stick to the paper. And you can do it in a pinch if you're trying to save money, but I want you to have success, so I'm not recommending it. I don't want you to accidentally glue your Bible page to your paper that you're putting in there to protect everything else. It is like a glue, and when you are prepping, you don't want it to touch other things. So that's why we do that. And I will show you how to get started with all these things in further videos, but what you need to know is that you need craft sheet, which we will cut up soon. You need one of these blending tools, and the extra will be fantastic for blending your stamping inks like distress inks. That's really what it's designed for, and that you can look on my blog if you want to see ways in which to use these tools beyond just page prep. But I just dedicate one to it, and you can see it's really starting to get glued and banged up and all of that, and it's okay. I just keep this one specifically for page prep, and I keep this one nice and washed and ready for whenever I want to do the page prep. And this heat tool is very, very necessary if you don't want to have wrinkly pages. So if you want to have the success that I'm having, this, I would say 95% of the time when people tell me that they have problems with their page prep experience and they've learned from me, they're not using this heat tool. They're using something else, or they're not drying it at all. So get yourself this Ranger Heated Craft tool. It may be black, it may be white. It's the exact same product. It just has a different casing currently, and it is sold, I believe, with a UK, Europe, and US plug. So what you want to do is use this, and I will explain later why you want to use that and not something else. So this is just how to have success straight out of the gate. If you don't want to try and figure out the details of what to do in every instance, or how to figure out all the details, this is the high level information. Get yourself some non-stick craft sheet. This is heat proof, so it will work with the heat gun. Get this heat tool, get this blending tool, and get this clear gesso in whichever size you want. That simple, and you will definitely have success if you follow my techniques.